Greetings everyone, it's Kaz here, analysing the downfall and demise of LawBreakers. The multiplayer first-person shooter genre is an oversaturated one to say the least. After many financial successes, every publisher and developer wants a piece of the marketplace. Boss Key is the latest to do so with LawBreakers, yet another FPS that attempted to not necessarily revolutionise, but put its own spin on the competitive first-person shooter. The gameplay is fast-paced and focuses on two teams of 5, with one side playing the law and the other acting as the breakers, across a variety of game modes as you would expect with any multiplayer shooter. The title released worldwide on August 8th, 2017 on PC, Xbox One and PS4 to positive critical acclaim, something that many competitors, especially those that are online only in the vein of LawBreakers, are unable to accomplish. Yet despite critics and gamers alike enjoying the game for what it is, LawBreakers bombed financially. No one is playing this game, and that is no dramatization or exaggeration. Financial failures in the online gaming space stand out much more than those in the single player space due to the clear lack of a player base that are at the heart and soul of prospering successes within the genre. LawBreakers fits this definition perfectly. The game's peak player count since launch on Steam was a little over 3,000 players concurrently. The all-time peak while the game was in beta earlier this year in June was 7,482 players. These numbers are far from impressive. It can't be a good feeling for Boss Key knowing that LawBreakers lost over half of its player base at launch compared to the open beta. There are a number of examples in the industry that highlight just how disappointing and lackluster the launch of LawBreakers was. Battleborn was a relatively high-profile financial failure in the year of 2016 as it was developed by Gearbox, the creators of Borderlands, mainly due to its untimely launch against the runaway success that was Blizzard's Overwatch. Despite the game's obvious failures, LawBreakers has managed to have a worse launch than Battleborn, which is a quote-unquote accomplishment that no game wants to be associated with. Brink is yet another online FPS that Bethesda just made available free to play on Steam. The game is notoriously bad, yet making it free to play boosted its player count from essentially nothing to over that of LawBreakers. As of now, the highest amount of players at any given time is around 400, which is completely abysmal when compared to many competitors, especially when considering that LawBreakers only launched a matter of weeks ago. Player numbers are what online FPSs thrive and survive upon. Without fans and a decent player base, games in the genre are subject to a dark fate, as is the case with LawBreakers. So, what went wrong with LawBreakers? My initial conclusion was a lack of a well put together marketing campaign, but upon further inspection, that was not the case at all, and the game was actually marketed relatively heavily across the board. So taking that factor out of consideration, I jumped to something that I briefly discussed earlier, and that is oversaturation of the marketplace. Plain and simple. The FPS genre has been one of the most popular and successful in the gaming industry over the past number of years, but we have reached a point where many gamers are simply getting tired of purchasing this style of game, yet so many of them are still releasing every single year. Obviously, franchises such as Call of Duty and Battlefield are still as huge as ever, but there isn't a whole lot of room, and there certainly isn't enough mindshare in that space to warrant smaller scale competition such as LawBreakers existing and finding a sizable player base. A large quantity of gamers aren't willing to give new FPS brands and franchises a chance when they are already content and familiar with franchises such as Battlefield and Call of Duty, especially when on a surface level, games like LawBreakers do look very similar to those other titles and don't offer enough that is unique, special, or distinctive in any way. This means, perhaps for the large majority of gamers out there, LawBreakers is pretty easy to brush off. But is it still possible for the game to have some degree of success outside of early access? Well, an advantage that online shooters have over other types of games is that they are able to be updated and in many cases revived at any time, meaning there is still plenty of opportunity for the developers to turn their incredibly bad launch into some degree of success. As mentioned earlier, Bethesda making Brink free to play brought life back to the title where there had been none for around 5 years. Evolve was another cooperative online shooter published by 2K that did not find a lot of financial success upon release, yet was brought back into some level of prominence, at least for a small period of time, when it was also made free to play. As a matter of fact, Boss Key's original intention was to launch LawBreakers as a free-to-play title. However, in March of last year, the studio announced that plans had changed. I personally believe that the free-to-play method fully embodies anti-consumerism and doesn't represent a positive direction for the gaming industry as a whole. However, it is as clear as day that Lawbreakers will follow in the footsteps of Evolve before it, and will most likely be available for free on PC and consoles, with microtransactions of course, within the next 6 months or so. It truly is a real shame to see a game like Lawbreakers, that is by all means very good, fail to this degree, and I can't imagine how disappointed Boss Key must be to see their project they've poured their heart and soul into meet its death so quickly. And while microtransactions are something I certainly do not support in the slightest, it is now Boss Key's only chance to find success with Lawbreakers, considering it is now officially dead in the water at this point. So as always, please leave your feedback and thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, do check out more content on the channel and subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you for watching, I'll see you all next time, do take care, and farewell.